And
So when the war broke out in
1939.
39, you
And,
were working in a nursing home.
And then the army came with wire and netting and all that, and you couldn't go near the beach.
Okay.
In case when they invaded.
Like Normandy Beach?
No,
No.
In Britain.
In Britain. Oh, that was in France, that's right.
In case if they came to Britain, invaded it,
Yeah.
they couldn't get on the beach because there was all this wire netting and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we went and filled sandbags to put up against people's windows and hospitals and that.
Yeah.
Because if it was bombed, you see, the windows would break.
And that was in 1939? How old were you? About?
I was about 17.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you were working?
Yeah, in a nursing home.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when they were bombing the Germans?
No, they didn't start bombing, but we were prepared for them to.
Yeah. Yeah. What was your life like back then? I mean, where were you living?
Well, the rations hadn't started then, you see.
The rations?
Well, the food, you see, we couldn't import food, so the food we grew in England had to be for us.
Rationed.
We had to be rationed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we didn't finish the ration until about 1946, when all the food was. That gradually came down and everything was rationed, and then when the war finished, you know that.
For 7 years? From 39 to 46?
Yeah, we were rationed from about 40 to 46, yeah.
Wow.
Well, because, you see, we still had food, what we'd imported.
Yeah.
But we couldn't get anything on the ships, you see.
Yeah.
Come from America or Australia or anywhere.
Right. And where were you all living? Where were y'all living during that time?
Stony Lane.
Yeah.
Oh,
And whereas we were the third house, weren't
Yes.
we? Well, we call them house. It was really like apartments.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, I remember
we were the
seeing
third
that.
one.
Yeah.
I can remember Mrs. Scatcher, no, the one in the first one. What was her name?
Well, but up at the old house where we were born, do you mean?
Yeah.
Related items, don't go what they're asking. Yeah.
Scatcher, not Scatcher.
You get a better idea.
Well,
'cause
has
last
the
time
name
you
come to me
asked
once in a while?
Uh-huh.
Because I can remember what she used to say when we'd be sitting.
When we were children.
We'd be sitting and she'd say, "Close your legs, gal." She says, "You're showing your ought."
Was that your aunt?
That's when we were little kids. We were just
Showing your ort. O-R-T? Ort?
OHT.
English people. They just talk. They
O-H-T.
Well, I mean, just
A girl fart.
for naught. You know. Short for naught.
I've never heard that term.
No, we haven't.
I can remember their names. Their names come to me once in a while.
But who
And
was
then
she?
The second was Clark, Dolly,
Yeah,
Dolly
that's
and
right.
Jeff Clark.
Uh-huh. And Sadler's. Next to us was Sadler's.
Yeah, that's the last one.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Hey, so do you remember like bombing and bombings in your
Yeah, because in Bury,
Bury St. Edmunds?
we had the brewery and the sugar beet factory.
Yeah.
Well, because the sugar beet factory had a season, you see, September till March. Well, the road, they bombed the road near the sugar beet factory, and there were some people killed there because they knew there was a factory there, but they didn't know what it was.
Oh, I see. So they were trying to bomb it thinking
Yeah.
that it was a military factory or something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
And so how far was that from y'all? I mean, how...
Well,
5 mile.
Oh.
5 miles, yeah.
Wow.
Bury St. Edmunds to Thurston, 5 mile.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Oh, then they came down right opposite to where we lived.
Yes.
Remember, they come down in the plane. They were dead. People dead in the sugar beet field.
Mm.
Yeah.
And this was the Germans bombing you.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Who else would
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't around.
Americans. And then, you see, a lot of our young men, they trained as volunteers in the army.
Yeah.
They used to go out on camping and all that kind of business.
Right.
So they were the first to be called up
I see.
in the regular army.
And then what about Grandpa? When did Grandpa go over there? What year was?
Well, he was from World War.
One. He was in the.
Oh, yeah, I thought you meant our father.
Our father.
Oh no. I meant Grandpa
no.
Connor. Grandpa Connor.
Oh, he was over there. But they came in. I think they came in the war.
Like in 41 or 42
yeah, they do.
or something,
yeah,
right?
that's right. Yeah. So.
And then so that's about the time that you met him when he was over there, right, Grandma?
Yeah.
What year did you meet Grandpa Connor?
Because we were in Bury, weren't we? Oh, you were at that shop, that lady's house, and I was at the sugar beet factory.
And remember?
Yes.
At the when we had to go and have a beer.
Yeah, the pub.
It was. You know what he used to play? He'd have them play, for it was me. When they saw me coming, they put that damn
He
thing
was
on.
courting you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. You must have been a hot number. And so what about your mother and your father?
Well, our father
Was
from the two wars.
Yeah, he was injured in World War
He was
One.
handicapped from the Second War.
He got killed on the railway.
Yeah,
Right, but he was injured in World War One, right?
yeah, that's right. He was gassed and injured, so he walked with a walking stick.
Yeah.
He was
And
gassed.
every day he used to cross the same crossing, come home and have bread and cheese and a cup of tea. But every day he'd make that walk, go across the railway crossing, and he did it one time too.
That was
He must have
foggy.
got his
That
feet.
was foggy in November.
He must have got his feet caught. in
Might have done, but you see, he was deaf from the.
Oh, deaf as a doornail.
From being injured in the war.
And so you think he got stuck on the railroad tracks?
I think
must
he
have.
couldn't hear the train coming. He couldn't hear.
But don't you think you would be able to feel the vibration of the train? It's a big train.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he must have got caught in the.
Railroad ties.
Yeah. And then we've got a uncle. What's his name? He got killed on home. Remember. He didn't know he was injured, but he died that same day.
Oh, yeah, Uncle, yes.
Yeah.
Mother's youngest brother.
Yeah.
Maudie's husband.
Claude and Maud.
Yeah, Maud's
Claude.
husband.
Yeah.
And then, so what year was it that your father got hit by the train?
Oh, 1937.
37?
Yeah,
Wow.
1937.
And what about your mother?
Oh, she died of 80. She died of old age.
Oh, I see. And where did she live all this time?
She
In
lived
Barry?
in Thurston, yeah.
In
She
Thurston?
stayed in the same house, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, when I went over there, and they open up, I bet you did too, open up that closet where Doreen lives
Yes.
now. Oh, you could still smell Dad's.
Yeah, army. Yeah, and
You
when
can
we
still
were
smell.
at the old house, before we moved, in that back place, he had all this stuff. He came out that like the water bottle and all these clothes, and you could smell what you use in fireworks.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was-
Like gun,
Yeah,
gun-
gunpowder.
gunpowder,
You'd
yeah.
smell that. Yeah, on all
Because he was in the military.
yeah, all those things. Yeah.
I see.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
He died in 1936, so that was before the war even started.
Right. But he was injured in World War II, or World War One.
No.
Yes.
I see. Wow.
What is Linda doing in there?
What was the time?